In this morning's Business Insight, every now and then we need to force ourselves to be mindful, take some time to think about where we are and where we want to be. And this is especially true for business leaders who have reached the top. We often think of getting to that point as the end game, but career guru Julie Bauke is here this morning to talk about how to pivot your career once you've reached that executive level. She's with Business Watch producer Kelly Leon in the studio. Julie and Kelly.
Thanks, Peg. Hey, Julie.
Hey.
Thank you for being here.
Always happy to.
So yeah, I think of once you're at that point, you're done. You're there.
Yeah,
You've reached the pinnacle.
right.
But you're saying no, that's not right.
No, especially these days. I mean, 18% of people now over the age of 65 are still working, and that number is going to keep going up. If you like what you do, the concept of retirement isn't even on your radar screen, at least traditional retirement as we think of it. You know, we've thought about our careers as ladders for a long time, as we just keep climbing, and then once you get there, you're done, and then at some point certain you say bye-bye and go sit on a porch somewhere. But everyone, I mean, is thinking differently about their careers, and if they're not, they should be.
So what should they be thinking about when you are at that level?
So, you know, very few people get to that level and stay there until the day they want to leave. Some do.
Yeah. Like Rob Reifsnyder, who was here earlier, 17 years with the United Way.
No idea what he's going to do the next day after he retires, but I bet he'll get bored fairly quickly. If you're a high activity person who's used to being out in the community or used to, you know, following a to-do list and being on the go, it's to put the brakes on and then say, okay, now I'm going to sit around and read the paper. It just doesn't work for most of us. But the key is, don't wait until that day when you're all done to try to figure it out. Start thinking about it. We say, you know, people in their late 40s and early 50s ought to take a fresh look at the runway of their career, what's left. You've got potentially 20 years left that you may want to keep working as long as you like what you do. If you wait until you're 60, it's a lot harder.
So if you want to keep working, but maybe your employer does not want you to keep working in that capacity, what advice would you have?
So sometimes your employer wants you around because of your experience and wisdom, maybe your relationships, and you may want to stay around in some other capacity other than the one you're currently in. And so you may negotiate some sort of consulting role, a project-based role, sort of an as-needed role, maybe a board position, but you want to think beyond that. What else do you want to add to your career plate so that you have a nutritional career meal, so to speak? Because you may still work maybe 20 hours a week or so for your former employer, or maybe even full-time, but you want to think, what am I missing? What do I want to do more of in my career that I'm not able to do right now where I am? And you want to do it on your terms. And we find out that people, when they start especially getting into their 50s, I always say we get crabbier, you know, in terms of what we'll put up with. Oh yeah, oh yeah, sister, I'm right there with you, about what we'll put up with in our career. And so this is a point where you really have to say, what do I want? And I'm going to put together a plan to get it. And don't wait. Don't keep your head down until the day that you've got nothing to do the next day.
And this is probably a good time too to think about, what haven't I done yet that I've always wanted to do that I kind of put on the back burner, I would think.
You know, if you've been successful at something, you can be successful at something else. Now, within reason, of course. But we work with executives, professional athletes, people who've been successful in all industries and professions and are at a fairly senior level in their profession. That doesn't mean they have to be a CEO, but they've had a level of success. So the trick is to figure out what has helped you get where you are, and how do you take that and use it for your benefit on your terms to get something else.
And where can your website quickly?
TheBaukegroup.com.
TheBaukegroup.com. Check it out. All right, Julie, thanks for being here.
Thanks.
Peg back.